Yo guys, welcome to another replay analysis with Casavagas and Fury. Today's subject is going to be Fury, the blue Protoss. This is a silver level game, so we're going to be talking about we're going to be really breaking down basic fundamentals of StarCraft. And yeah, we're going to basically help Fury here get his build more streamlined, get things flowing better, more efficiently, and stuff like that. Shout out to Fury / Atomic Koopa for the replay analysis. Much love, man. Let's do this. All right. Okay. So there's your first fucking mistake. Okay. Now we're going technical this time. We're going to add up. I'm being dead serious, by the way. I do that a lot of times where I'm like, you already fucked up, but you actually did. We're gonna actually add up to 6 minutes. How much?
Hey ViBE, can you restart the analysis? I have to take a poop.
Sorry, dude. Go take a get it. Depends. Okay, be prepared. Thank you for the bits. So what we're gonna do now is in the first 6 minutes. Okay, we're gonna add this up. In the first 6 minutes, we're gonna add up how much time your nexuses miss on building probes. This is the biggest fundamental of all of them to fix. Okay, so far, let's see how this goes. It's 1. It started at 12. So from 12 to 22, in the first 22 seconds of the game, you've already missed your probes by 10 seconds. Like, again, this kind of stuff adds up super hardcore. It's more detrimental than you might realize because, as I've said before, every second that you delayed this specific probe at, this 14th probe is now 10 seconds delayed. But that means every single probe that this Nexus is going to make is also 10 seconds delayed. It adds up how hard that fucks you over. And you do not get that time back. You can't just be like, well, I'll just make another Nexus faster because I'm not spending my money and make more probes quicker. Like, you just don't get the money. You don't get the time back. So that money is now forever gone. It's forever gone.
ViBE gets paid $50 to tell people all they have to do is build probes.
We're gonna go a little more technical than that, all right? Just relax, okay? But it's the biggest deal of all, though. It really is the most important thing about this game. So far, we're gonna write this down. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay, look at it again. You made the probe. You do it again right here. So at 35, your probe finishes. Now, how long do you wait for another probe? Okay, I won't count that one. It was like literally milliseconds. I won't count that one. I mean, it shouldn't happen at all. But if it's milliseconds, I'm not gonna go be like, you missed 0.7 milliseconds. Like, who gives a shit? Okay, it's not that big. It's really when it's down to like 5 seconds at a time, or even 2 seconds or something. That's when it's full seconds. Like there, you did it again right here. You're doing it now. And this one's even crazier because you have a chrono boost on your Nexus. So you have an active chrono boost on your Nexus right now. And at 52, your probe is done. And now, from here, let's see how long it takes. So you're already at 10. Now let's see how long it takes. 1, 2. Okay, so you built your next probe at 54. But that was with chrono boost. So if you missed 2 more seconds with chrono boost, that is kind of like having 3 seconds missed. Because it's a 50% boost on what you've just spent on your time. But we're not gonna add in the chrono boost really that much. It's okay. We'll just say another 2 seconds was missed. So far in the first 55 seconds, you've already missed 12 seconds on your probes on just your main Nexus, and we'll keep going from there. And if your plan is to expand, the second pylon is way too early. What your build should be like this, okay? This is the only part of the game when I would say you need a build order would be the first 90 seconds of the game. That's it. For every race. And for Protoss specifically, your build order should be this for the first 90 seconds of the game. Pylon, Gate, Gas, Nexus, Gas, Pylon. That is your build. That should be your build. And the reason why is because you're making this pylon way before you're going to supply block. You're not even going to be remotely close to it. The only way you would even come even somehow somewhat close is if you made a zealot the second the gateway was done. Core? Okay, yeah, sorry. You make... Okay, sorry. I didn't say core. Let me say it again. Pylon, gateway, gas, nexus, core, gas, pylon. Sorry, I didn't say the core. You're right. My bad. You add in the core after the nexus. Nexus first, core right after. My bad. I was thinking about resources. I wasn't thinking about your tech. But yeah, the core is part of your build. So yeah, that's how it goes. Pylon, gate, gas, nexus, core, gas, pylon. That's it. If you can do that, that's the only build you have to know. That's the only that ever since like after that, you just do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want. Yo, I'm GBS. Thank you very much for the 100 bits and also the gifted sub. Much love, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My guess is you're going to take a natural, but you're going to take it really late. So you're going core now. Now, this doesn't make any sense if you're going to go for a natural as... Like, okay, it's not the worst if you go for a natural. It just means you're playing really safe. But when you prioritize a core, usually... it benefits players who are going to go for something more aggressive. If your plan is to literally sit back and play defensive, you should just go Nexus before core. Yo, OMGBs, thank you for the additional fucking 4 gifted subs, man. Much love, dude. Oh my god. You gifted subs like crazy, boy. Thank you very much, man. And another one. And another one. Thank you, dude. And your second gas is too early, again, if you're going to go for a Nexus.
Yeah.
So, again, this build now, you're rushing your tech path, and you're also rushing your double gas before you expand. So this build would make more sense if you were doing something that benefits that path of progression. Like if you did a Stargate really fast, or a Robo, or something, where you're going to, like, harass your opponent with something. Now, I highly recommend you don't play that way at Silver League. I recommend you just play defensive macro. I've never recommended anyone play aggressive styles in lower leagues because you can't handle multitasking. It fucks everything up for you. Just focusing on the macro is definitely what you should do. My guess is you're going to expand. I do think you're eventually going to expand. It's just out of order is all it is. So it's a delayed Nexus for no reason. And you have to understand that everything has a purpose, and going down a path in one direction is going to change the course of your build. Now let's back it up really fast to make sure I didn't miss any probes being missed. Just really quickly. So that was the 2 seconds you missed. I already added that up. Now, do you miss any more? And obviously, I also do not want you to fill this up to 5. But you should try your best to always have 2 in here at a time, like that. Perfect. That way, if you miss it, it gives you 12 seconds to react. To where even if you do miss it, anywhere between 1 and 12 seconds, as long as you don't wait longer than 12 seconds, you always have that backup probe that'll start right away if you miss it within the anywhere between. But if you have a backup probe that starts and you miss it after 12 seconds, well then obviously you're going to miss the probes. So having 2 probes in the Nexus at all times is definitely nice for especially newer players that aren't used to like always hitting that probe timing perfectly. So 12 seconds so far is what you've missed on the Nexus. Here, it's starting again right now. Okay, go to the exact moment when it finished. It finishes at 133. 133 to 134, 35. This probe started at 135. So 2 more seconds, again, was missed right there. And you might not think, again, you're like, oh, ViBE, fucking 2 seconds, not a big deal, bro. It doesn't really sound like a big deal, but it is because it delays every single probe in the game that you make off of this Nexus by that. And so far, with all of the little mistakes that are added together in the first 97 seconds of this game, in the first 97 seconds, the main Nexus is already making probes at a rate where it is behind by 14 seconds. That is fucking a lot of time So every probe, again, that is made from this point on for the rest of the game, and that is made out of this nexus is 14 seconds late. 14 seconds late. 14 seconds late. And each probe mines an average of 1 mineral per second. 1 mineral per second. So when a probe is alive, that's 14 minerals per probe that could have existed. And if you add up like 30 probes that could have existed 14 seconds faster, that's a fuckload of minerals that you're missing out on. That is a lot. And if it keeps adding up again and again and again, well, that number just gets bigger. All right. And your natural is also, I would say at this point now, it is very late. And what's going to happen now is your main, to be making probes properly, is going to be oversaturated for a very long time before you can even transfer to your natural. And now you should still oversaturate your main if your plan is to saturate your natural. If you want to take one, it makes sense to do that. But it makes even more sense to just take your nexus a little bit faster so you don't actually have to oversaturate for so long. Because you are now fully saturated on your main. You are fully saturated on the main, and you have not even started a natural yet. So again, if you take one, this is very inefficient because now at the very least, 71-second build time is a nexus. You have to be fully and then oversaturated on the main for over a minute because you have delayed your nexus for so long at your natural. I mean, we'll see what you do, but yeah, the build order is super inoptimal. Now you're kind of boosting your gateway, and you're going to take a natural. So yeah, again, build order, just know this, okay? Build order is pylon, gate, gas, nexus, core, gas pylon. You will not supply block if you build this way. You will not supply block. And if you do supply block, it will be only for like a second or two, a very, very brief. You do not spin chrono boost until your first pylon is done, and then you can chrono boost your nexus itself one time. You can chrono boost your gateway one time when your core is done, so you can make a faster stalker. That's fine. You can then chrono boost your nexus again a second time when your second pylon is done. And then from that point on, after your second chrono boost, you can chrono boost whatever the fuck you want. I would recommend just literally repeatedly chrono boost your nexus, your nexus, your nexus, your nexus, so you can saturate a natural faster, a third faster, a fourth faster, and so on and so on and so on. Gas here, way too fast. Nexus, way too late. Now, I know this is PvP, and I know there's some boner out there right now listening to this replay analysis that's like, ViBE, this build is so fucking greedy. Do you have any idea how this guy can die to X amount of things? He can die to oracles. He died to adepts. Relax. Okay, this is fucking Silver League. No one does that. I'm dead serious. Nobody fucking does double adept timings and oracle timings in Silver League. And even if they did, they wouldn't macro shit while they did it. They wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't even focus fire half the time. Okay? Like, that shit that applies to, like, Masters League. I get shit like that all the time where people think, like, pro games apply to every league. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It does not. Alright. So, you are now making probes still? Did you miss? Let me go back and check and see if you missed probes again. Fuck, I want to make sure. I just want to make sure. To the point when you were fully saturated. You hadn't missed a probe again yet. You were still at 14. Now watch this. Okay, you haven't started the natural yet still. You start it now. You still didn't miss a probe. This is good. I mean, I'm glad you're not missing probes in the main anymore. Let's keep watching it. Okay, now you're supply blocked. So, I'm not actually going to count that supply block because you had a probe in production. I'll give it to you, okay? We're going to talk, we could talk about supply blocks at a different time. Obviously, simply put, try not to supply block. The way you can do that, move your eyes in the top right of your screen and kind of keep tabs on this. And understand that a pylon gives you 8 supply. Keep tabs up here. Keep an eye on it. Move and then move on with your life. It's not that we don't have, there's no sequence. It's just literally Keep your eyes up here. When you have excess minerals and you have supply that's getting close to capping out, make a pylon. You're going to probably be making a pylon like every 15 seconds. Like, it's just going to happen. So reminding yourself, oh, I need a pylon. Like, if you're ever within 10 supply, you probably want to make a pylon. Make a pylon. Make a pylon. Just do that. It's a habit you need to develop. I don't have a equation for you to do it exactly. That doesn't exist, and the reason why is because different builds of different units changes this level of pylon needed, timings. But yeah, just keep your eyes up here. Make pylons when you need them. So I won't critique you on that supply block, even though it was like 3 seconds. I won't add it for this because yeah, that's a different, or that's something totally different. And if you did not have a probe in the Nexus though, I would have added time to it. But you had a probe started, so you had the right idea. But now get ready. We're gonna do both Nexuses, and this is gonna take us all the way to 6 minutes. We're gonna do this all the way to 6 minutes. All the way to 6 minutes. Your main Nexus is still going well. Double Robo is pretty ambitious right now, honestly. With this kind of a timing, you better be going for something super. I mean, you could do defensive styles with Immortals, but yeah, double Robo right now, that's pretty expensive. And I honestly don't think you'll be able to afford it at this point in time. Yeah, like you're gonna struggle to be able to spend that. I would say single Robo would be better, but yeah, you just got, that's something that also comes from experience. Like, kind of pay attention to what shit costs, and keeping an Immortal constantly pumping out of a Robo is not cheap. Okay, anyways, going back to the probes, your natural is done at 3:44. Now this adds to the time. This also adds now. Because again, we're going to 6 minutes as your threshold, your benchmark. Let's see how good you do up to 6 minutes. And now your natural is not building any from 3:44 to. I won't count that. You started it like within a second. That's acceptable. That's like a leeway. Good job. If you start it within a second of it finishing, I won't count it. It's fine. You transferred. That's nice. You're still making probes. You should be starting your third base very soon because your natural. You want your natural to be like when it's pretty much getting fully saturated on the mineral line. You want to be starting your third base. Because again, if you're going to take a third, if that's your goal eventually, the only thing that would make sense if you don't take a third base is extra production. Now, I will say 2 Robo, 2 Gateway is actually pretty expensive. So if you did a timing with fuckloads of Immortals, I actually would not question you on that, even though it's very awkward. I would be like, yeah, logically though, it makes sense. That's not the build I would choose to do myself, but it makes sense because it's fucking expensive. So it promotes doing a timing. But if you don't constantly pump Immortals out of these and you have a lot of idle time and then you eventually take a third, that's where I question it, right? Where it's like it doesn't really make sense. You should have maybe just made 1 and taken a third base. And you should be taking your third base literally like right now. Because your goal is to macro. It's to hit high supply, not to do an all-in. Okay, you're doing a good job at this point in the game of making probes. I don't know what happened early game, but you definitely missed a beat early game. But this nowadays, like, or now, along this time, you're doing great. You just aren't expanding fast enough. Your biggest problem now is you just don't expand. You're still, okay, there you go. You stop making, oh, that was like a second. I won't count it again. It's not a big deal. It's like literally it was like off on. It went on really fast again. It was maybe not even a second. But you're oversaturating your natural again. Like you have no third even started. This is a big deal. Okay, there you go. That Nexus is now not building for a little bit. At 5:34. Yeah. Hold on. No, another one starts. It's I think it's after this one. Your Nexus went idle for a sec. At 5:47. No probes. Okay. Yeah, you're not making probes for a while this time. There you go. You started it up again at 5:54. So 5:47 to 5:54. That's 7 seconds. Or wait, what did I say? 5:57 to yeah, that's 7 seconds. 7 more seconds on top of the thingy, and we're going up to 6 minutes. So this final 7 counts. because 6 minutes is our quota. It's just like a good benchmark to have. So you've missed 21 seconds in total of probe time, and you're not going to miss another one now. So we're gonna drop it from here. So up to 6 minutes is like, if you can hit a good benchmark by 6 minutes, you are not going to be in Silver League for very long. You'll be definitely promoted. Like no matter what league you're in, you'll get promoted. Like the first 6 minutes of the game in terms of economy build-up are so incredibly important. It's ridiculous how important it is. But out of the first 6 minutes, we'll add it up. We'll give you a tally now. Okay, take you to 6 minutes exactly, and we're gonna write this down, and then I'm gonna create a build for you up to 6 minutes after this. You are at 52 probes. You are at 84 supply, and you have missed 21 seconds on probe production between your bases. And your third base, we'll write this down too because this is relevant. Your third base is 3 seconds into production. Okay. So those are important things to know. I don't give a shit what your buildings are. I don't give a shit how many gates you have. I don't give a shit how many robos you have. I don't give a shit what units you have. We're just going to lump that into supply. But the big one is your economy. You have 52 probes, 84 supply, 21 seconds of missed probe time, and then third base is at 3 seconds in production. So your third base is way the fuck in the future. It's not going to be done for over a minute. And now we'll progress it from here. We'll take it a little faster now. So I'll give you a 6 minute breakdown after this. In my own game, I'll make for you a benchmark. And yeah, we'll see what you do now. We'll give you some theory. What you should be doing right now is you should just be... I don't mind that you started upgrade buildings. I don't really like that you made 3 forges. I think that's excessive. I don't really want you to go for all 3 upgrades simultaneously. I would say in a Protoss versus Protoss, you could literally get away with 1 forge. I'm being honest. Armor and shields doesn't really change a whole lot in PvP, especially if you're going to make units like Immortals and eventually you're going to make Archons, which you totally should be because you have a fucking ridiculous gas bank with no minerals. Archons would be great here. So armor and shield upgrades don't really matter a whole lot in PvP because Immortals and Archons are going to kill units in pretty much the same amount of hits it takes them either way to kill them. Like they're not going to suddenly be like, you have armor upgrades? Fuck, it takes so much longer to kill you now. It's the exact same, essentially. It's like very, very few things that get altered from this. Very few. So armor upgrades don't mean shit here. And all that's happening with the extra cost of an extra 2 forges and then also the extra cost of maintaining upgrades out of all 3 is going to slow your max down. That's all it's going to do. So this is excessive. And now you have a 4th base. You're fully, you're at the 80 probe mark. I approve of that. I do think you can get there a lot faster, but I approve that you're doing it. That's good. I also wouldn't mind if you go to two robos, one early and then another one added on later once you get to the point when you're like on 70 plus probes, because then you could actually afford it. But I'm not gonna lie, dude, for you only having, this is the problem, I would say, for you only having 7 immortals right now, and you've had double robo since like 3 minutes, and this is only a 39-second build time, you should have more than 7 immortals if these buildings were able to maintain 100% uptime in production. You could have had 7 immortals with 1 robo if you did 100% uptime in production. So building, you got to be really careful about building buildings and then wasting time. Like if you build a building and then you just never build out of it, like you have it done and it just sits there and sits there and sits there. Like that's obviously inefficient as fuck. Especially if you're like, well, I can't build out of it because I can't afford it. Well, then you got to rethink your build, right? And maybe don't add in so much production so fast before you can actually afford it. So keep that in mind. Like it's kind of like trial and error for yourself, where you're like, okay, this is too expensive. Maybe next time I'll try it a little later. And then if it feels good next time, keep it that way. Do whatever feels good. This is why, again, it doesn't have to be an exact build order. The only thing that needs to be really a build order is your first like 90 seconds. The setup of everything. And then from that on, it's just efficiency. Like take another base when your current base starts getting really well saturated. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And as soon as you have optimal saturation of 80 plus, expand every time you start mining your bases out. So you actually should have a 5th base starting right now, because look at your bases. Fully saturated. Fully saturated. Fully saturated. Fully saturated. And this is actually fully saturated for real, because this probe should be counting as the 16th, but it's currently going over to build a Nexus. So I like that you started it. I like that you started it, but I would say even then, slightly too late. Because look at your natural. Watch this. These patches, some of them are getting pretty fucking low. And I would say this is actually just barely appropriately timed. Because if these patches start mining out, and these probes start having nowhere to mine efficiently, because every base they go to, it's going to be oversaturated. They needed to have been having, like, to have it be done properly. When this base starts mining out, which is going to be very soon, it needs to have the new base to transfer to. So this Nexus was timed okay. It was timed okay. I still think you might want to have made it a little bit earlier. Just get in the habit of making it like when this base would mine out, because this base is going to follow. And then the next time a base mines out, you would take another base. Just always making sure you have enough bases to send shit to. This one was okay. I can't really get on your ass about this one, because this one was actually okay. Because it's going to be just before the probes need to go there. Your gateway count also is too big right now. You're exploding your gateway count before you maxed out. It doesn't make any sense. You make gateways enough up to be able to max, but you do not explode a gateway count before you max. It's close. I would, okay. 12 is like okay, but it's still kind of big. I would say on your way to max, okay? On your way to max, you could actually max out with probably like off of the first couple bases up to the point when you have like up to starting your saturating your 3rd base, like 2 gates. And then when you have a 4th base being saturated, you could add on like an extra like 6 gates to go to like 8 gates in total. And you could honestly probably max out off of like 1 robos and 8 gateways. 1 robo, 8 gateway. To max out the first time. If you actually spend your production, your money, you keep it going. You don't just let it fucking idle for like. Because dude, if I actually added, remember how we said 21 seconds on your probes being missed in the first 6 minutes? If I were to add up how much time was missed out of your gateways in the first 10 minutes, how much time was missed on every gateway? The second it's done, add every gateway when it's like this isn't being made, this isn't being made, this isn't being made. Just add them all up. I bet you probably have missed. And this is going to sound weird, right? Because I'm going to go over 10 minutes with this number. But you have to realize each gateway represents its own timer. I bet you've probably missed like 15 minutes of production time off of all of these gateways. I'm being honest. Because, like, the fact that you maxed out as late as you did, it's pretty late. You maxed out beyond 11 minutes. And on top of that, you made so much production before you maxed, which means you couldn't afford to spend your money to use your production. And your economy was delayed as well. So you had a double negative there. You had a late economy because you expanded super slow. And then on top of that, you delayed your probes by 21 seconds at the beginning of the game, which fucked you over also. That was like another negative. But then if you make a lot of production and you don't spend existing production, that's a negative again. That doesn't make any sense. Like if anyone goes like this, if they go, I could do 100% uptime of 2 gates, 2 gates, 2 gates, 2 gates, and then as soon as I have extra money that I physically can't spend because I have too many probes now, add on more gates. That's logical. It makes sense. But if someone goes like this, I have 2 gates, and then I just forgot to macro my 2 gates for a while, and now I have 1,000 minerals. Let's make 6 gates. Fuck it. That's not good. And people that are lower league don't realize this, and they're like, I'm spending my money. It's what? It's not a big deal. But it is, because it doesn't make it more efficient or just as efficient. In the setup of everything, that is, again, it's time you're never going to get back. That's available production that just has not been utilized. So that's another goal, is maximizing probe production and unit production. Probe production, unit production. Out of existing production. That'd be like saying I'm not going to build probes for, like 2 minutes, and then I'm going to just build 3 Nexus and catch up. in my main base because I just missed it. I'll catch up then really fast with 3 Nexus. I'm still spending my money. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You're missing out on time. You can't get that time back. So what I see here is, I think it would be okay if you explode your gateway count after you max. It's totally fine, and the reason why that makes sense is because it allows you to re-max really fast. But going to initial max, it's awful if you have this much production before you max, because it's delaying your max is all it's doing. It's too much money invested into production that you're taking away from production of existing production. Like, you're adding on future production that is going to just weaken your timing because it happens later now. I hope that makes sense. I hope that concept makes sense. But again, it's time. Time is a resource, and if you have to invest more into gateways, it just lowers it, or it lengthens the time, rather. It lengthens it and when you're going to actually get to a maxed out. All right. And now that you are maxed out, you should definitely have already been scouting where his bases are. So I disagree with how you're moving your army right now. When you get close to maxing out, you're not even using you're not using an army hotkey, which I think is fine. That's not a big deal. You could use select all army. I don't give a shit because you shouldn't be microing anything. What you should have done is you should have sent like 1 stalker on each side of the map to go there, and then 1 stalker to go there. Just scout both sides of the map before you move out, because right now you're moving out blindly and you're most likely just going to go attack as natural, which is exactly what you're doing. This is lazy. This is super lazy, because if your opponent was ever the kind of player that was ridiculously greedy, and let's say on top of that, they have a good solid defense here at their natural, but they were really greedy otherwise, and you just allow them to have expansions and you possibly throw your army away on a fortified position, which is their natural. That is bad. The way macro works the most intelligently, the best, is if you attack expansions rather than main base areas when it's a macro game that is like this long. The reason why this makes sense is because look at your main base. You run out of money in your main base by this point. Like, you start mining your bases out. So killing his fucking gateways and stuff like that, it's the hardest place to kill. And it makes the least amount of sense, because if it's the hardest place to kill, your chances of killing it are lower. And the easiest place to kill would be future expansions that have been made way later, which have a lot more money to mine. But if you kill those bases, you starve him out and he can't even use production. You can't just shit money out of thin air, right? You gotta mine it from somewhere. So if you kill easy to kill bases rather than his main area, it'll happen way faster. You'll kill it, he runs out of money, and then he can't even use his production he has. So never just go for the natural, ever. Always kill expansions. Always. And you won that fight simply because you had more supply. Like, compositionally, neither one of your armies were like great against each other. He doesn't have enough Void Rays to really be that threatening. You have a fuckload of Stalkers that are going to easily kill it. Like, the Void Rays will do damage to you, but the Stalkers will also kill the Voids. You have Immortals versus Colossus and Stalker. Like, you both have armies that can fuck each other up, but you just have more supply by 20 supply. So, yeah. And now, look at your production. You're not... So, now, when it comes time to actually explode your gateway count, you're not doing it. You're sitting on 12 gates the whole time while the fight's happening. And I bet you're probably looking at the fight to a degree. Because if you weren't, if you're not looking at this fight, you should definitely look at your money and go like this. I don't have enough production to spend that ever again. Like, I'm gonna have a fat bank the rest of the game if I don't add production on, if I'm about to lose a big chunk of my army. So what should be happening now is this is when I would say you should actually add in more gates now. You should now explode the gateway count once you max out. And, you know, expend your money. Then be able to actually remax faster. Because you're waiting on gateways again right now, and you have 3,000 minerals still. And there's nothing you can do. There you go. Now you're doing it. So do this like just know that when you max out and you have a good saturation, you should aim for like 24 production facilities, okay? And again, this is Silver League. This is not Masters or something like that. So again, someone out there's probably shitting their pants again. 24? Yeah, motherfucker, this is Silver League. 24. This could be any combination of what you want. It could be 20 gateways and 4 robos. It could be 21 gateways and 3 robos. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Maybe, though, robos, if you do go to 4 like you did here, probably stop at 4 robos. Robos are really expensive to maintain the whole time. Don't go to, like, 10 robos. That's a bit much. Probably stop at 4. But lots of gateways would be great. Lots of gateways would be great. Yeah, like, just aim for, like, 24 production buildings right now. And right now, you have currently 14. And you're adding on 4 more, so you're going to go to 18. You still need, I would say, make, like, another 6 gates as well, somewhere else, and you'd be great. You can make them wherever the fuck you want to. Gate, wherever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, otherwise, scout and your attack will be a lot better. Now let's leave this, and I'm going to make you replay really fast, really, really quick. This is a very long replay analysis, but it's all G. Don't worry about it. I don't mind. I'm just helping you here with this idea. Now, I am going to do I'm gonna end the replay at 6 minutes, and we're gonna look at benchmark, okay? And I'll put this replay in Discord when I'm done, and the replay analysis channel right under yours.
Here, have more money.
I wasn't asking for more money. I appreciate it. It's just I know I took a long time to do that analysis, and now I'm fucking doing another game. But yeah, we're doing a 6-minute example here, okay? Of Silver League. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. It's just understanding what's a priority. That's it. But thank you very much for 300 bits. I appreciate you. Hi, Mila. Okay, make a pylon. Make a pylon. Okay. Yep. Okay, probe pops out. We make a gateway. We're good. We make a gas. We make a chrono. We make a nexus next, then a core, then a gas, then a pylon. Alright. Let's go ahead and pull a probe. Go send it down to the natural. Make a nexus. We could even go scout his nexus right now just to see if he's making one or not. So we can see if we want to make a battery or something. Make a core next. Make a gas. And a pylon. Pylon. Okay. And now we're still making the probe. It's still under construction while the pylon's under construction. So if we do supply block, it's going to literally be for just like a second. It's not going to be very long. Okay. And then our probe is going to unfortunately die in his base. Whatever. Who cares? It's like, oh, my scout died. Uh-oh. Whatever. So the build's still going the same way. Second pylon's done. We chrono boost. Chrono boost the nexus. And now we're chrono boosting. We can also chrono the gateway one time. I said you could do that too. That's fine. Also, this is not a PvP, my bad. Who cares, though? Again, it's about your build. It's not about your opponent. It's about your build. Up to 6 minutes is our quota here. And we even just lost a probe. Chrono boost the nexus. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Every time you have a chrono. Nexus, 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 nexus. 6 minutes is our quota of everything. Supply, probe count, third base, all of it. Let's start a robo. because we had money. We actually couldn't spend our money anymore at that point. So making the robo made sense. And we're just making one robo. We're gonna add on production as we go. But again, our priority is making probes and chrono boosting probes and just maintaining production. So I'm literally going 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, making sure I never have missing production. And now we're fully saturated on the mineral line. Let's go ahead and take a probe and go to our third base and take our third base, because we're gonna need the probes to go somewhere, right? Okay, let's start making an immortal. Let's make a couple gases. Make probe still. Chrono boost nexus. You can make like another pylon. Because we're just trying not to supply block. Make a stalker, and we're still able to spend our money with the current production we're on. So add like just it's because we're utilizing it. So adding on more right now doesn't make sense yet. It'll be soon probably, but adding on more yet doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we cannot afford it. Let's add another pylon. Let's transfer some probes out of my third base because third base is finishing. Keep chrono boosting workers. Okay, now I'm starting to get to a point where I can't spend my money anymore. I have everything in production, and my money is starting to get kind of high. So now, let's go ahead and add on a few more gates. Let's add on like 3 more gates or something. Just for now. It's fine. Chrono boost my nexus. Make an immortal. Keep making probes. Let's start another base because my third base is getting fully saturated. Okay, all my gateways are finishing up, and oh, wait, right there. Boom. Okay, so now let's look at the difference of 6 minutes. The 6-minute build up, right? At this point now, what we should be doing as well is we should be adding on. I would definitely say a council to go into also a Templar archives to get ready to start going archons. That's also when we could add in a forge to start getting weapon upgrades, and then we could actually start utilizing, like we could add on like maybe 3 or 4 more gates to go to like 8 gate production. With a single robo 8-gate production to hit that 80 probe mark with, and then you know, start making rounds of archons or zealot, or not zealots. You could make zealots too. I don't really give a fuck. Any gateway unit, really. Make rounds of gateway units and immortal. Round of gateway units, immortal. And while you're doing all your production, and while you're spending your money as well to set up more bases, pylons that you go all the way to 200 supply with, and so on and so on. But let's compare. This is the last thing we're doing. So now, in your game, at 6 minutes exactly, you had 52 probes. We have 67 at the same exact time, and you missed 21 seconds off of your production time of probes. We missed basically 0 because I really didn't miss probes here. It was, if I did miss seconds, it would probably be like 3 or less, because it might be like a split second where the probe isn't being made and it starts again. It's very short. So that's a big difference right there. It's not only expansion timing, but it's also probe uptime. That has netted us a lead of 15 probes, which is a fully saturated mineral line minus 1. 16 probes is a fully saturated mineral line. That's a huge deal, right? You're like, wow, that's like a full base of probes of minerals. So that's a lot. Now your supply at 6 minutes was 84. Our supply is 98. And nothing has happened. We actually lost a probe this game to a scout. But again, who gives a shit? It's not a big deal. It's just a scout. It's acceptable. It's an acceptable loss for the purpose of what it did, which is scout. And your games too, that could totally happen. You might lose a scout. That's fine. But we have 14 supply and 15 probes over you, which means obviously We have the identical army supply as you, minus 1 supply. If you have 52 probes and 84 army supply, that means obviously you had 32 army supply. If I have 67 probes and 98 army supply, it means I have 31. So I have 1 army supply less than you did, which means it's probably the difference of like an observer. Like I could have made an observer right after this and we would have been tied in army. So if you think about that, think about it like that and you go, well, same army size, but ViBE has like a full fucking base ahead of me in terms of economy. What it means is, in your game, if you were at that stage, you could be greedier, yet still not die. You still would not die if like you attacked, if you got attacked, you'd have the same power, essentially. Which means I can then, even though we have the same army supply right now, that's going to change drastically if I have an entire mineral line above what you had. Because I can max out faster, because I have more money to work with as the game progresses. And then finally, the last piece of it was your third base. At this point, exactly right now, this third base that exists, your third was like this, and it was 3 seconds of production. This would have been like your third base. This is my 4th base. My 4th base is 8 seconds in production, which means I already have a fully saturated third base, which means your economy right now, if my economy right now is 24 minerals, 2,400 minerals and 900 gas, your economy right now was like 1,600 minerals, roughly, maybe like 1,800 because there's a little bit of oversaturation going on here in your game. So you have a little bit of like inefficient, but yet a little bit more mining going on. I would say 1,800 minerals for you per minute and 600 gas per minute. That's a very fair call. And it's because you don't have this base actively mining right now, and I do. So you would just be mining a lot less than I am right now, which again is why you would build up slower. So that's fucking huge, right? Like that's a big deal. If you can just hit this kind of a benchmark for yourself, dude, you're gonna fucking wreck. And then from here, make literally like 8 gateways. All of your tech, like go all the way to Archons, have a forge, get charge or whatever the hell you want to get out of your council, and then just go into 8 gateway production with a robo. You could max on that if you just didn't miss it at all, if you just maintained it. Obviously, if you ever fuck it up and you're like, well, ViBE, I have like 2,000 minerals, okay? I fucked it up. Well, then obviously make gateways. Make more gateways or make a second robo, because if you fucked it up, well, you have to fix it then. But the goal is to not fuck it up in the first place so that you can max out fast. That is the goal. But if you ever realize you're kind of fucking it up here and there, you can always recover a little bit. Not fully, but you can recover a little bit by making more production. That's okay. It's the lesser evil of the 2 evils, which is don't do anything about your money at all and just let it go up high. That's obviously the worst option. So that's what your goal should be. And with this build, honestly, if we maxed with it, I would say a realistic time to max would be right around 9 minutes. Right around 9 minutes. Like 9:30 or something. Maybe 9:45. It would happen a lot faster. We would definitely not take another 6 minutes to build up another 100 supply. It would go up much faster the second time around because we have a good economy already. Protoss max at 9:30? Yeah, something around there. I don't know. It's around there. It does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Lord Byron, thank you, man. Thank you, dude. Much love. Love your content, ViBE. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Just max as fast as you can, is all it is. Max as fast as you can. But if you can hit this 6-minute threshold, that's a big win for you. If you can hit anything remotely close to this, that is a huge win for you. Alright, I'll save that replay and I'll put it in Discord. Okay, one second. Okay, it's in the replay analysis channel now, right under yours, Atomic
Thanks,
Koopa.
ViBE. I have always been bad at StarCraft, and I think after playing for 10 years, it's time to get good smile.
Shit. Thank you, Atomic Koopa. Much love, man, for the 1,500 bits. I appreciate you. You'll totally get better. I promise. I actually forgot to do an outro to my video. It hasn't been too long, so I still can do it. Yo, guys, thank you very much for watching the video. If you guys want my, if you guys want access to the replay, I just also put. If you're like, I want the benchmark myself, go to my stream, which is linked on the YouTube video. If you just look at the information tab, there's literally ViBE streams here, and you click it, and there's my Twitch page. It's just twitch.tv/ViBE LOL. If you're in my Twitch chat, if you type !Discord, like this, right here, !Discord, just like that. Jesus. Just like that. My little root symbol is kind of in the way, but it's literally !Discord, no spaces, just like that. The bot will link you to my Discord, or you can literally click my Discord link, which is down below on my Twitch page, and go to my replay analysis channel on my Discord, and you can find this replay right here that I just saved. Protoss 6-minute macro example B2GM. And if you're watching this video much later in the future, maybe do like a Control F to find it. But yeah, because the channel does get kind of flooded, so it would apply more to people who would watch it soon. Well, yeah, I have lots of replays. This isn't just like the only one. There's so many fucking replays all the time on my Discord, getting thrown around. Lots of shit to look at if you want to get better. Or content on YouTube. You don't have to look at it. You can just look at YouTube too. That's fine. But guys, I will see you next time. I will see you in the future. Thank you for watching the video. Good luck. Adios. And peace out. Later, guys.